Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 45. Today we are making our first video of the 3.6 patch, and so this was a fairly big patch. If you're not familiar with the patch and what's happened, head over to Play Runeterra and check out the patch notes real quick. But otherwise, assuming you're up to date with that, we are going to be playing with elites today. Two big changes in terms of elites with the new patch. The first and foremost, Garen now has a summon ability. When Garen comes onto board, he gives all of your other units +1/+1. And then there is a new card here in Might of the Vanguard. And so in my patch note review, I was curious if you could play this for 1 mana or for 2 mana. You cannot. This is a base cost of 3, and then you spend all of your mana after that other 3. But in my test games, I've been reasonably happy with this. You find lots of spaces as to where you want to play this on turn 4 or turn 5, just for the 4/4 or the 5/5. It's very easy to have a spell mana or 2 banked up so that you can play this for like 6 on turn 4. And one of the things that I thought was interesting with this and the way things kind of turned out are these kind of boards to where you play a Fleet Feather Tracker on turn 1, you don't play anything on turn 2, and then on turn 3 you use that banked spell mana to drop a big 5/5 on the board. And so lots of versatility coming out of the Might of the Vanguard. It is also good early and good late, right? In the good early sense, if you don't have a 1-drop, you can play it on turn 2, still get that big 3/3, and then of course good late, and that has this big elite boosting ability. And so those are the two new cards, and then here today, we're of course playing elites. And so I don't think elites in the sense of chasing after all the keywords is quite good enough. As we've just come out of this format where the Sun Disk was really popular, just putting stats on the board often isn't good enough. Even if your stats are just way, way, way bigger than your opponents, you're still going to have trouble winning these games. That was what the Sun Disk was really preying on in terms of mid-rangey decks. You could just play 5/5s and 6/6s and 7/7s all day, and they just didn't care. They would just block, prevent that big damage, and then still get their Sun Disk going. And so we found that you had to either attack through your opponent's units with Overwhelms, attack around them with Elusives, or attack twice with Rallies. And so we're going after the kind of Demacia strategy there in terms of just building up a big board and then dropping a Rally. But we do have a handful of additional ways outside of the Golden Aegis to get those going. And so at its core, this has this really good early game Demacia challengers plus protect me kind of package. We have the Fleet Feather Tracker and the Petricite Broadwings as the old standbys. We're also now packing the Elite and the Honored Lord. And so we have these 3 early game challengers. We have ways to protect them along with the Brightsteel Protector and the Durandi Sculptor. And this gives us a good early game board to where we can both interact with our opponents so they can't just go all willy-nilly and play their cards and us just be like, here's some stats. And it also lets us build towards the next stage of our strategy, which is boosting all of our units with all these unit boosting cards. And so in terms of giving our units bonus attack, we have Poppy as a champion. We have Garen with his new summon ability. We have the Durandi Sculptor boosting up the health, and then the Vanguard Bannerman and Cythria as our old standby elites to boost the units. And so as you can probably deduce, if you have 1 unit on the board when you play the Vanguard Bannerman, that gives you a single +1/+1. If you have 4 other units on the board, it gives them +4/+4 in total. And it turns out the +4/+4 tends to be better than the +1/+1. And so that is one of the big things we're building towards here, right? We want to get these early game challenges, not necessarily trade, maybe kind of bide our time and just build up the board as it will, and then get the big bonuses across all of our units. Then, at the end of the day, what we're trying to assemble is we'll attack once with all of our freshly boosted bros. Our opponent will just have to block so that they don't die to all of the damage, and then we'll say, boom, here comes a rally, and that's what we'll use to close out the game. And so that is, kind of the general strategy. The last thing here is to talk about and call out are the combos with Cataclysm. Cataclysm does lots of neato things in this deck. There's lots of great things you can do with Cataclysm. You can attack with Poppy, so you get the additional free attack to boost all of your team. You can, of course, give Garen his second attack so he can strike twice and get his flip to get the additional rallies on his back end. It does count as a challenge, so if your Honored Lord has not used his barrier yet. You can barrier challenge with Cataclysm to give him the boost. And then down here with Ardent Tracker, if it's your opponent's attack token and you Cataclysm with the tracker, you will get the attack token back. And so that will kind of function as an additional rally effect. And so lots of things going on with this Cataclysm outside of just being, a decent removal spell. All of our units tend to just be bigger than our opponents, and so that can function in those terms as well. And so that's it. That's what we're bringing forward. The elites, as you will, not again full on elites. We aren't playing the Vanguard Squire just got boosted. We're not playing the elite. Battlesmith, whatever the 2-drop is called. We aren't playing that stuff, but we do still have some elite combos in here. We have our Ardent Trackers ready to pull off and tie all the synergies together. The Penitent Squire making the tattered banners for the Honored Lords. We still have, some of these elite synergies going. We just haven't gone all in on elites. I don't think that that's going to be particularly powerful. And so let's go ahead and jump on in. I did see if we had paid the pay-to-win price. We haven't gotten it complete. We're almost there. Ardent Tracker ready to become premium, ready to get the premium elite treatment. I'm not sure if our opponents can handle this. This is quite a bit coming at them. All right, here we go, ready for battle. And so yeah, this is pretty cool. We'll see how it goes. I do have to kind of jump out and say the negativity on Reddit is always astounding. Like I don't know like what. I don't know. It's just like, how do you like? Okay, I'm ready. My day is here. I read the patch notes, and now I'm just going to go and bitch. I can see like some things as to where like your favorite card gets changed or something, but there was like very few negative changes. It's like I don't know. It blows my mind. I shouldn't be surprised anymore, I guess, at this point in my old age. But like seeing the things here with the new boards and the attack tokens. Now, people are always on the old Reddit saying, "Man, I really wish Legends of Runeterra was more popular and it was a big, super awesome esport and it got all the Twitch viewership." Here's the thing with watching these card games. Like, say you just tuned in right now, right? You missed the first 3 turns of this game. You don't know what's happening. Like, you at least get good visual indicators to what is about to happen on the board right now. And you don't have to have someone just like tell you. Like, what if you're on the bus and you don't have your headphones and you're just trying to watch someone play the new and cool esport, and you don't get to, this sucks a lot. You don't get to understand what's happening because there's no indicators on the screen or anything, right? And it's like, it's very small. You're going to forget about it in like a day. But if, you are trying to, be the esports viewer or the Twitch viewer, the YouTube viewer, without the commentary going, it's very nice having these indicators on the screen. And that's always been one of my peeves with like Magic, is it takes a lot of brain power to just figure out what the fuck's actually happening. And I think that these things are great. The only kind of downside I have with it, I don't know if this was new or old, but it feels like there's this like screen darkening thing, and that gets kind of odd to me. Like, I feel like I would have noticed it in the past if it wasn't here. But I mean, look at this. You can see it has little arrows on the screen. You can tell who's attacking and who's blocking. And if you are the experienced gamer, that is a good thing to have. And then if you're someone new to the game, it also helps to figure these things out. And so I think that was a pretty fantastic addition to the game. And then not to mention even the things like burst passing, people just go out and start bitching about. Like, I was trying to think, maybe in the past like month or 6 weeks, however long I've been doing this series, like the number of times I've done a burst pass play. 2, 1, 3. Like, this is not some kind of like end all be all to the systems of the game. And so it's just another thing there. I can get to the play changes a little bit later. We can jump back into this one We'll continue on my bitch fest about other people bitching. But here, the idea with this, the way that this game has gone is it gets awkward if you play your Bannerman before you play Poppy. If you play Bannerman first, you boost all of your units, Poppy comes down on the board, and then she doesn't have anything to help grow. Right? In this case here, she would help the bird grow, but she wouldn't help anything else. So we played Poppy first, wanted to follow up with the Bannerman so that we could get the boosts across the entirety of our board. Opponent interacted a little bit, but it hasn't been a big deal. He's got some abilities on Victor here. And it's pretty tempting to just go for the Golden Aegis into Sharpsight, but like this isn't super close to being a lethal Victor, right? He is potentially going to gain like 10 health and shoot back up to can't kill me land, but I think we can kind of disincentivize him from attacking here without playing the barrier. Okay. There's the Vi flip, you got it. Oh, Victor's flip was like, wow, these things call 0. What the hell's going on? Okay. Okay. So I'm curious if he has like a burn spell to weaken up our Broadwing. He's gonna hook Garen with the Vi. Oh. Oh, that's one way to do it. Okay. Not bringing in Vi. And maybe we should just be giving up the Garen here. It's too late because I already put the card on our unit, but maybe we should have just given up Garen here and then next turn taken down Vi with the Broadwing. Right? We could use Cythria to boost up its health. Not sure how much I like this. At least the perk to this is we're fairly safe here, right? He's playing Shadow Isles for Atrocity, and we're above the Shadow Isles range. But I'm liking this less and less that we gave up our challenger. Now we can't interact with his stuff.
Nothing's more exciting than an unsolved mystery.
All right, here comes the squad. Make a sad noise as we do it. Interesting, he comes out and blocks the Garen. Was not expecting that. Like, it seems like he's kind of in all-in mode at this point to where you need to be, like, ambushing Vi or atrocitying off Vi. Like, I'm curious as to how he plans to deal 15 damage from here, unless he just has another Vi in his hand. Right, but he should be in a pretty decent space to where, well, I guess the Vi hook can't survive these combats. Well, Vi can kill... No, she won't survive a hook into our Penitent Squire. Okay. Interesting. Still not feeling very good about this, but... Oh, he had an atrocity on the Archivist. The Pharaoh's Fancier is going to come in and just give him another one. He didn't slam it, so that has to feel good at least, right? All right, so what do we do in this turn? Like, can he ever realistically kill us? Because if we can go into the next turn, we can get like pretty good double attacks with the Cythria, but we're in this like awkward spot here as to doesn't matter what we barrier, he can just hook something else. Let's just play our Cythria. We'll have to count on this next turn. We might need to actually block all of these units as well. Punch it. Hit the nos. Man, speaking of that, God, this is important. Did you all hear the news? Did you hear the news? The director of Fast and the Furious 10, Fast X, Part 1 and Part 2, has left. He's left the series. He was the one, he did Tokyo Drift, he did This is odd. Why is he attacking with the fancier? Like, we have to block. We don't want to just die to burn and atrocity and stuff, but what's his angle here? T and Z plus Shadow Isles. Are we okay if we lose our Garen? It's not that bad if we lose Garen. But I definitely want those stats for the second attack. Man, I don't know. I don't know what's up with this. This is very strange. Does he just want the unit the unit to die for something? But no, I think he did Tokyo Drift, and then he did like Fast 5 and Fast 6, and I think he came back for Fast 9. Oh, he just wanted the unit off the board. Gotcha. He's left. Probably had some kind of ballyhoo with Vin Diesel. That's the way things typically go these days. You have a little problem with the Diesel. All right, I think we might be good here. We're going to lose something to Vi, but the squad looks strong. I'm going to play this Ranger's Resolve. It's going to happen. It's only got 2 cards. Is this going to be like an Atrocity Mystic Shot? Sad noise if that's the case. Oh, fuck. Alright. Has to be as well. It could be a Mystic Shot or a Doom Beast. It's very odd to see these people play Doom Beast. That's not something you typically see out of these Shadow Isles decks, but I guess that depends on if you're playing if you're playing the what do you call it? The Sumpworks posse, the thing, whatever it is that generates the Sumpworks map, the Allegiance card. Not here, not today. Market a W, 1 for bust. And so yeah, back to my trash talking about Reddit. It's brutal, right? I can't imagine how it feels to work at Riot. You've put your heart and soul into the new patch. You're just coming off a patch which is pretty universally agreed upon as being good. And then before anyone even gets to play with the game and the cards, they just start shitting all over it. Like, these are the same people, the ones that are saying, where's the stuff on Twitch and where's my esports? And then why doesn't Riot come out and hang out with us on Reddit? No fucking wonder why they don't come and make comments on your Reddit posts. It's just people trashing the game, like post after post after post after post of just trash talk about how the work you did is shitty. Like, no, I don't want to hang out with you. Like, big surprise that Riot isn't coming out and hanging out on Reddit. Like, what are you supposed to do? Just see all this garbage and then accidentally say the word rework instead of changes, and then just thread after thread of people bitching about that? Like, fuck, I don't want to spend time with that. Well, I don't think come spend time with us. Obvious. The thing that really blows my mind, and he seems to at least handle it well, is Riot Mort over in the Teamfight Tactics land. He wades through the cesspool and comes out pretty clean. So props to him. Like that dude is devoted to the Teamfight Tactics. I have to imagine he works well beyond the 8 hours a day, and then goes home and plays more and interacts with the dum-dums on the internet and stuff. Dude loves it. All right, back to this one. Some kind of Lee Sin Udyr number. It's like we have to get something. We're making the decision this turn if we want to open. I think we can probably get a safe 3/3 down. It's not the end of the world if we can't attack this turn, but I would love to attack with both. Probably not happening on when they had 6 mana. But it's like, do we ever get this Honored Lord down? Now, one of the things that didn't make it into the patch notes is Dragon's Protection is focused now, right? This used to be a slow spell, now it's a focus spell. We're going to have to watch out for that one. I'm ready to just go ahead and commit to this, though. If we trade for the Durandi Sculptor, it's quite okay. Just got to get our stats on board at this point. This is a pretty awkward hand for Poppy. Like everything is already bigger than Poppy.
Our eyes lead to hidden paths.
Okay, it's got a stance swap and a protection in hand. Slightly awkward, if you will, drawing 4 of our 5/6 drops, but opponent hasn't done anything. We can still build up these boards to where we have like 2 and 3 Cythrias and just get this giant booming attack in, but it's not an ideal scenario when you're going into your Poppy attack and you only have 1 unit on the board. We told you, right? +1/+1, okay. +4/+4, better. All right, you got us for 2 damage. Wrecked. More Poppy. I think we just have to go with the tracker now, right? When are we I guess like realistically across the next 3 turns we're just gonna be playing Cythria. Like we might find a turn to where if our Poppy's still on board, we want to heroic strike away a Lee Sin, but if we don't play it now, when are we ever gonna get to play it? Like we can play our 2-drop. That'll drop its cost to 4. Yeah, let's make a sad noise about that one.
Force is meaningless without skill.
Okay. Pretty cool with Lee Sin getting to drop these Dragon's Protections and stuff in real quick. Whoa. Whoa, he plays real Lee Sin to pull this off. Okay. Well, not ideal, but not the end of the world. Now, the downside here is he can focus out this Dragon's Protection onto Lee Sin and get a hook into Poppy. Not awesome, but not a lot we can do. Maybe he'll, like, I was hoping that he would like start playing stance swaps and slow cards and give us the chance to knock him away. I don't think it's going to be the case. Right, he's just going to focus down the thing and then hook Poppy. Which, I mean, we do get to follow up with the Honored Lord and a Keeper's Verdict. Oh. Okay, that was aggressive. See ya. Get out of here, bro.
Years take, experience gives.
Okay, now we can get a Cythria down. I don't think we want to go Bannerman. Right? Can't remember how the sequencing works. We'll put the dudes on the board, but I don't think Poppy gets the boost and then her thing happens, right? Our units are just 4/4s here. Okay. You boosted yourself though, girl. That's pretty good. Not all was lost. Or Sonic Waves. Okay. Is he gonna flip off of this? No. So our Cythria is okay. I don't care about losing Poppy. That's okay. If he resonating strikes onto Lee Sin to block Poppy, that's fine. Oh, this is a good block though. Okay. Hit for 10. Interesting. Like if we get some width here, then we can just close this game out. The downside to this board is if he has that heal thing, that can be annoying. The barrier heal would be a bit of a problem, but let's see what he does. The other, kind of awkward thing is with this Might of the Vanguard, we can't play it before we play the Bannerman since it'll eat all of our stats. But I'm pretty sure we're okay if we just play our 3 units, hook Lee Sin out to the right, and we should be able to get a takedown from 7 with the rest of our dudes.
Raise the banner. Lift our spirits.
Raise the banner and lift our spirits. Now, one of the awkward things with this Might of the Vanguard, I'm sure we'll have it come up at some point, but if it comes on board as, you know, a 4/4, and then your opponent bounces it, you get the 3/3 unit back in your hand. And so, worth noting that there is some potential for problem there. Picking up the Cataclysm's kind of interesting. Curious if we can't get a bit of board stall here. Like if we attack with everything and then he has a bounce spell, there's just a very good chance we outright lose the game. And so I'm not quite willing to open if we don't have to. Especially if we can do something cute, like he plays a unit and then we hit it with a Cataclysm and then get to attack around and drain a bunch of his mana. Poppy gonna flip? She could potentially flip if we get to chunk her into a unit. That's a scary one in Udyr. Like I'm not sure what this deck's gonna be playing. We can send Poppy in. I would like almost assuredly say that they're going to be playing Twin Disciplines. But if we send Poppy in, this attack is still okay. I think I like this. Right? If he plays Twin Disciplines, it's not going to stop a trade. It's going to kill Poppy or keep Udyr from dying. And so we should get to attack with her again if he goes the protection route. Or, I mean, the way that this would ultimately be horrible is if he's playing weird shit like Fury of the North. I don't think that we're going to see that. But, I mean, it's certainly a possibility. But I think at the end of the day, this is like most commonly a Twin Disciplines. 3 sisters. That's fucking annoying. So where does that leave us? We still get to attack. We get to kill Udyr. Is this stance going to be free now? That's pretty savage. I guess at least the perk to him having to play the stance right now is he probably can't overwhelm his Lee Sin. But I mean, he might be in the space to where he just has to go for it. Yeah. F. At least it... I mean... We are a little bit a ways away from him lethaling this, though. I think we have to attack here. He's going to get the good block onto the Cythria. Takes 5, falls to 2. I just don't think we have any other choices. That Cataclysm was kind of backbreaking. I mean, we would have fallen into the same problem had we just opened, right? Since he did have the 3 sisters. So if he's going to come in and we try to make the attack for the kill, and then he has 3 sisters for a flash freeze or for an entomb. It's problematic, but man, got that lethal on the board now. All right. So 3 sisters. We'll have to remember that one. Not super used to Lisa and Udyr running around. Victor Udyr was not Victor Udyr. Victor Lee Sin was catching a bit of play there for a while, but now that the old Victor is, or now that the old Udyr has been buffed a bit, I'm sure we'll see more of him. But here against the Sun Disk, I want as much early game plays as we can. They are going to be much slower now. If you aren't familiar with the Sun Disk update, it only removes off 9 instead of 10. And so they shouldn't be dropping the final booms until turn 8. So unless he starts playing things like Clockwork Curator, which I'm not sure. I personally don't play a ton of Sun Disk because I think it's dumb, but it's it's a thing to where I could certainly see it. I mean, people were there for a while were playing a lot of all-in Sun Disk. So, God, it's so tempting to try and throw a Ranger's Resolve in front of this, but we got a bit of time. I think Poppy should be okay. It's always scary to, have her come down with the negative boosts, but like I'm just kind of envisioning. Oh, he just plays right at the Arcane. Okay, I was just kind of envisioning that next turn we're just going to play like Broadwing and Golden Aegis, and she's going to look very good in that space, especially if we get to open with the Aegis. Here. Trying to decide if I want to use the Ranger's Resolve, and I think we might as well. We're not dealing with full boards here. It does keep us from dropping Golden Aegis rallies next turn, but I think this is fine. Holy shit, that was so bad. I thought we were going to come out the victors. I thought we were going to survive that. I did not get any Poppy boosts off of that. Whoops. It's okay to make a little whoopsie every once in a while. Happy little accident, if you will. Alright, what are we doing here? It is kind of nice to lead on with the tracker. You shouldn't have good blocks on it. Can't do a Golden Aegis if that's the angle, though. Alright. Does have that champion in hand, but I mean, it's not a very scary board in terms of either a Zir, which you just don't care about, or a Zerath when he has no landmarks. Oh, giving up on the Sun Disk plan, huh? I like your style, my dude. So now we need like a big unit booster. This board is not strong against what he's put forth. Okay. Take some big stats off of that dum-dum, sure. Alright, yeah, now we need our Garens or our Cythrias, whatever unit boosting. We need a big boosted attack for next turn. We've got the Aegis, we've got the board, we just don't have the boost. Let's play the Fleet Feather Tracker. This is what's going... He's going to hit our Broadwing. Okay, I think it's still fine. It's like we're so close to just getting the lethals out of here. If we can take some of this stuff off the board without losing our units. Like, I'm leaning towards, I want to hang on to the tracker. I want to use it to hook the Rock Bear. I'm okay with accepting that the Broadwing's just going to die next turn. But if the Broadwing dies, then I do want the Fleet Feather Tracker to still be around. Maybe we do one of these. I'm not super interested in the stats from the Sculptor anymore. Now, if he has a blow up a landmark card, then we're just going to lose. He's already played one, but if he can blow up the landmark to deal 4 damage, we're going to lose 2 units. He's going to get the thing. Okay, good job. So that's tough. Like that's one of the spaces with this deck where like when we play scouts, we're playing with Vanguard the Vanguard Sergeants, and so you have that like additional way to boost up the whole board while still just being a pretty reasonable unit. I think at the end of the day, I have been trying to do some scout shenanigans in here, or some elite shenanigans in here. I think we probably realistically want to just cut this like Argent Tracker, and then play the Bannerman. That's okay. We're getting our jollies in with the elites here. We should have just showed up and played scouts, right? Okay, reasonable enough start. I'm okay with hanging on to Sharp Sight against Ezreal Caitlyn. Good against the Ezreal, and it works well with the Broadwing. Let's get rid of the Bannerman, though. These Honored Lords have not been that great either. I'm only playing 2 of the Penitent Squire, but it's still been kind of Frown Town. All right. She knew we were talking trash. Came back to solve all the problems. But this gives me another chance. The last thing I wanted to talk about in terms of all of the bitching going on, with the change to the play or the cast mechanic. If you're not familiar, whenever you used to like play a card, right? So you cast a I don't have good examples in here, but you cast a spell on your opponent's unit, and then they would play whatever that thing is, like the sacrifice a unit, draw 2 cards. That would essentially counter the spell. So if you say say we concerted strike this Spiderling with a Lux on the board, then it wouldn't. If they played the Grim Feast, Absorb Soul, whatever, it wouldn't count towards the Lux. Now all those things do count. With the change in the cast, and one of the big ones people are talking about now is with Ezreal. And so it used to be the same thing. You cast a Mystic Shot onto a unit, you play Grim Feast or whatever it's called, and then Ezreal wouldn't get the target, and so he wouldn't deal the damage. Now you can just churn off a bunch of spells, and Ezreal does the damage across the board. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And like in terms of Ezreal, in terms of the game on the whole, I think it's fantastic. Not having to explain that shit to people, me not understanding when it's going to happen. There felt like there were cases to where sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And all in all, I think it's pretty positive that that stuff's just gone. Don't have to worry about it anymore. But slightly awkward here. Our Garen's not getting a good boost because I want to play Cythria next turn. It feels kind of awkward to be like, let's Broadwing and Sharp Sight and then go into Cythria next turn. I think this is all still well and good. There is a world where we just don't attack here. So we try and build up this board with double Cythria so we can fearsome the big blockers, right? Because it does get slightly awkward when we attack with the squad. He blocks Cythria with the Spiderling and then has a Scorched Earth. But doesn't seem to be the case here. If he had a Scorched Earth, he'd just be blocking with the Spiderling. There you go. But still getting in pretty big chunks of damage. Oh, the Glory Seeker card. I like what you're about, my dude. This is one of the new ones. If you, it generates the 2 Glory Seekers for 6 mana, and if you have Reputation, it costs 3. I like what you're about. All right, let's see if we can't get through some of this. I assume Cythria is just pretty much dead. It's very easy for them to Mystic Shot her down or something, but... Oh my god, is this not Caitlyn? Is Ezreal Swain? Whew, I'm losing it. I assumed it was Ezreal Caitlyn.
I sculpt what others only dream of.
Alright, there's Durandi Sculptor. Ooh, the Leviathan. Did we just win the game? Is that what we just did? I think we might have. So he only has 2 blockers. You can't block these 3. You can get 1 block on Cythria. Let's give it some of that. Commit. Nice. GG. Victory for the elites. And so yeah, like I suspect what's going to happen is that play change was made. That was a big one. And then we might see some tweaks 2 weeks from now. I doubt it. There might be something that has been missed and needs dealt with, or maybe that Ezreal is just way too good or something like that. But I don't think. I think there is a good possibility for a B patch because that is a pretty monumental change. But I don't think it's going to be anything too big and too bad and too bold, and so not expecting tons of things there. Okay, so this is another one of these awkward spaces as to where it's like if you don't hang on to the tracker, it doesn't get the chance to shrink. But if you're not going to keep it in your opening hand, when do you ever expect it to be any good? And so we're playing against the ramp deck. I think I just want to stay away from the kind of cutesy plays and just look for some 2 and 3 drops here. Much better. Nice little curve.
I must reach the king.
Okay, so we'll get our Durandi Sculptor down. The worrisome thing coming from these people is going to be AoEs. And so it's at least kind of nice that we can protect next turn. I think that when they don't block, they almost always have the AoE. Right? If he plays a Blighted Ravine into this board, then on next turn he's going to be protected. Oh, he just doesn't have it. Okay.
Well, that's a bit better. A little reinforcement at the seams.
So another turn for potential problems, right? I kind of want to just play Poppy. It doesn't feel like he sequenced this out to where he has an AoE. And it's not like end of the world if he takes these small units down. Perfect. Okay. Take his ramp cards off the board. If he's double ramped and hasn't done anything, this should set him back to being a game ender. Beautiful. Okay. He will have 8 mana next turn, right? Oh, no, we took 2 of those units down. It's like, if he's going to have 8 mana and then be able to drop an Ithid Stairs, that would be pretty problematic, but doesn't appear to be the case. Got him. GG.
Quest complete. On to the next one.
Quest complete, on to the next one. So, as the next game loads up, you all riddle me this. This pissed me off to no end. And so I purchased some new undershirts, right? If you're not familiar with the way I dress, you wear the undershirt, you wear a shirt over it. And so my other ones were getting holes in it. As you'll find when you get older, shirts just don't like magically appear. Your mom probably stops buying you shirts when you're 27, 28, and so when you're up into your 30s, the amount of shirts that you have available gets really strange. Like, you'll find out. It's like you're going to get up in your 30s and you're going to be like, oh man, I bought like a couple of shirts for work. I had to go to a wedding or two, so I bought some new clothes. But for the most part, I just don't have anything. And then I've got these like shirts from college and a bunch of 5Ks that I ran or something. And so you do have to go and buy them. So I went and bought some new undershirts. And they have like fucking pockets on them. Like, who the shit puts pockets on t-shirts? Like, I've never been like, oh boy, I wish I had a pocket right here that I could store some coins in. It's fucking absurd. And so I've been pretty upset about it. I don't know how upset you are. I am very, very upset is how I am. Now I've got, like, if you're going to check it out up here, you're going to see the outline of this stupid pocket. I'm just going to have to throw them all away. Like, that's the only solution in my brain. It's the only way around it. All right, but back to this game. He's playing Talia's Ziggs, so he should be on the more aggressive end of the spectrum here. He's been coming at us with the Inventive Chemist, though, which is not that scary. So I haven't felt the need to really come down and deploy the Broadwing. I was hoping that we could, get him down with tons of stats, or we could get a good wide board for a Ranger's Resolve. None of that came together, and then we drew expensive stuff. And so it's been slightly awkward here, but we'll recover. Protector was perfect draw. Play Ziggs. Come on, God, play Ziggs. He's had a fairly awkward draw as well, so. Gotta play something, my dude. He says, oh no, I can't burst pass anymore. This is one of the few places where that could potentially be relevant, right? But it's so dumb. So dumb hearing all that stuff come across the Reddit. Gonna protect our unit here. This lets us take his chemist off the board and keep building up our board. We can do the bright steel hook into the chemist, come in for the full 5 damage. This should hopefully be too much for them to recover from, now that he's not to the space to where he can play both a unit and the spell in the same turn. You can play Talia, but she can't copy anything. I think this is looking great. Well, I guess the odd thing here, the spot we have to stop and think about is the Protector has the Vulnerable on it. And so if he just, like, comes in and hooks the Protector, it kind of sucks. I guess that's okay. We can just take down Ziggs next turn. Oh, shit, I forgot. I forgot Garen has this sweet-ass ability now where he just gives all of our units a boost. Fuck. Get boomed, dude. So I was trying to think of how we build this up next turn, because I want to attack with Garen and Golden Aegis, so we get the rallies on the following turn. But man... Okay. See what happens. I think he's just going to take it, right? And now he's going to have to, like, play a Talia or something. We can Golden Aegis our Broadwing. And then Garen will flip and we can get a rally for the next turn. I like it. So there's not... Can't get this Fleet Feather Tracker on board, though. That's one of the slightly awkward things here. Like, we can force him to block with his units, right? If we attack with everything, we're not threatening the lethal. This is going to get us the strike, and then we could just hit next turn. I don't think we die to the Absolver. Right, that's going to be 6 from Talia, plus 2 would be up to 8. Okay, that's kind of tough to pull off. And we have an open kill ready for next turn. Not playing the Fleet Feather Tracker, I don't want the Ziggs to flip. Okay. So that was, like, kind of expensive from him. Where are we at now? He's got 4 units. He can't Absolver kill us this turn. That was the big thing that mattered out of that one. So let's go and just get some dudes on board now. The unfortunate thing is, like, playing dudes, they're just going to die to whatever he has. But, like, how do we feel if we play Cythria and he just hooks her with Talia? It's okay. Then he's not going to have great blocks for Garen in the follow-up. It's like, I want to add the Fleet Feather Tracker, but then he just gets free hooks on it, right? And that's just not acceptable. We could look to just go ahead and attack with Garen. I don't like that either. Here's Cythria. So he can still get a good hook onto the Bright Steel. I assume he might say put Talia onto the Bright Steel, but this lets us come back around with some decent attacks. Oh, no. We got the Durandi Sculptor on board to give her the 7 health. Okay, so he does get the kill, but now our Broadwing will kill Talia. Okay, so he has to block Garen. He'll put the Naturalist in front. Then he would be putting... He'd stop 2 of our big units. These attacks don't seem great. Again, like, we do get to chunk in that 2 points of damage, but it doesn't feel like enough to get a win. Let's just get the free kill with Garen onto the Naturalist. So he's already played like 2 burst landmark cards at this point. It should be tough for him to really, like, widen out the board. Cataclysm. Interesting. I think we're safe. I mean, he's playing. He's not going to, like, decimate us down. So I think this should be fine. So now the question is, like, if we attack and he has Quicksand, how fucked are we? Doesn't seem that bad. So say we attack, we hook Ziggs with here, like 3/3 with this. It's just he has 3 mana. It's like I want to take down one of these units with the Cataclysm. Maybe we'll come like this. We'll do Cythria into Rockhopper. Oh, does this only boost your attacking allies? Okay. Fine. Poppy would boost our team. Poppy's more of a team player than this dum-dum. So this does put us in the space to where he can now take Cythria down with the burn, landmark burn thing. But we win the game through that, right? So that's completely okay. If he has to tap out to do it, I'm fine with that. Okay, we should be Quicksand here as well. So what do you think, my dude? I think it's a lethal. Ripperino. Okay. Well done. Game says it's over. GG. All right. Nice little victory. It's the little victories that matter, not the big ones. Oof. Whoa, this hand's Garbo. What were we up against again? Tarek Udir. Alright, let's get rid of everything. No elites in hand for the Penitent Squire. Sad day. I think we could probably wait. Like, if we're not like super aggressive, playing it on the first turn's not that big of a deal. We can add the sculptor now, take 2 and not worry about it. And then we can get the Might of the Vanguard on board. You know, slightly awkward. I would prefer this just be a 3-3. But it's okay. It being a 4-4 does make it big enough to deal with Udyr. Technically be a 4-5 because of the sculptor.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Oh, you don't get the bonus? That's stupid. You heard it here first. That's dumb. I thought it's summoned, right? Does it not say summon? Oh, it's just a dauntless vanguard at this point. All right. So what do we think here? We can drop the Bannerman. I'm not amped about it. I think this should be like a sharp sight turn. So let's get like the Durandi Sculptor down. Like, typically the card you would worry about here would be a Troll Chant, but he doesn't appear to have it. He's beyond playing a Pale Cascade. Well, he can play Pale Cascade. I just don't care. I just don't care about this stuff.
They appeared out of nowhere.
So I'm just going to get all these sweet dudes on the board.
Reach the king.
And then what lesson did we teach you earlier? Giving +4/+4 is better than +1/+1. +5/+5 is even better. Ooh, now it's Poppy? Well, we briefly mentioned this earlier. I was going on some kind of rant when I was talking about the Bannerman plays, right? But if we say play Poppy now and attack with her, we can boost all of our units except the Dauntless Vanguard. If we start with the Bannerman here, it's going to boost all of our units this turn. Then when we add Poppy, everything already has 3 attacks, so she's not going to really get anything done. So we need to play the Poppy here. She's, you know, a little bit of risk. We don't have a ton of mana to protect her, but giving out the +4/+4 feels fine, right? She's been frostbitten. Oh, that sucks. You can give her +1 attack here now. It's kind of lame, dude. All right. I'm gonna take my point of health, I guess. Okay. So we're going to click through this quick. The Ranger's Resolve will only protect the one Durandi Sculptor. I don't feel like that's enough. I mean, maybe we're to the point to where that's okay. I mean, it's not awesome by any means protecting the one unit, but like we have very few real cards in our hand at this point, and so let's just spend the mana. Like if we immediately draw Cithria, then we're going to feel kind of bad about it, but I think this is okay. Sure. So he has to spend the mana to do it. That's fine. Okay. Make a sad noise. It's like I just care so little about these attacks. We could probably get Poppy into this combat. But like, God, who cares? Who cares? It's like, I guess once this gets us like, if we don't block here, we're just a stance swap away from dying. But we probably die to that anyways. Okay, I'm skipping it. Now the thing with this, I'm going to play the Bannerman first. I guess it turns out the same either way, right? If we drop the Brightsteel before the Bannerman, then the Poppy will just clean it up next turn. Okay. Oh, this all works out. Okay, this is the way to do it. So the dude will have the same stats as Poppy. Gotcha. Gotcha. I did the mathematics. It all worked out okay. Entreats, sure. Kind of scary in terms of he can just pick up this +3/+3 combat trick. Not worried about him picking up Udyr, but that one's more on the scary end of the spectrum. Right, here's the squad. And it does seem kind of nice still having 8 health from Poppy and then 6 health on the Penitent Squire. So when we do have to come in and block Taric next turn, we're going to have a bunch of stats to do it with. I think we're probably still just dead, but
All right, let's get to work.
gives us a shot. What's he at? 9, 10, 11 would be 13, 14 if he flips something. That's how much health we have on our units, so maybe. I don't know, maybe. It's also slow, right? You can't... You can burst out like the Taric boost things, but... Interesting, he's not going to go for the Overwhelm? Feels like... I mean, I guess he doesn't have to win the game this turn, but yeah, I was really surprised if he wasn't going to go for the Overwhelm. Doesn't he do the first spell that you played on him? Am I wrong on Taric? Copy the last spell. Okay. I was like, cool, maybe he just did it wrong. Yeah, it's pretty sweet if you ask me. Just come out here and do it wrong. All right, more stats.
Never submit.
So we take 2 damage this way. He has 4, so we would die to Fury of the North this way. Kind of sucks. But the question becomes, can we win the game next turn if we don't have this board, right? We really need to be like attacking and then having the 2 units available. Maybe we can get wider than him. Right, we died at... Well, he would have to have the physical Fury of the North. I think this is okay.
I can spend a whole fight one
All right. Oh. Well, that wasn't interesting. -2. Okay. GG. And so that was ultimately my worry. So when we were talking in the previous attack from our opponent, and we just took it and went down to 4, that's the idea right there that we're trying to prevent. Do we have enough health to stop this Overwhelm attack? Now, I'm usually, like, this is something that you typically run into against, like, the Pantheon decks, as to where you're making that decision. And what it kind of, like, boils down to is you're trying to decide if you can actually kill the unit that matters. And usually you can't. And so I usually just kind of advocate for going wide on them. And then if you're able to, like, the difference with, like, the Pantheon deck is they'll often come at you for, like, 10 damage from the single unit without Overwhelm, and you can just block it. But the different thing that we were facing there is he's doing like 5 and 5 instead of 1 set of 10, and giving up that many units is kind of painful. And so I think, I don't know, if I had like 10 more games of experience against that deck, I might feel a little bit better about our decision making, but I think the strategy we took is typically okay. And I think we would have won that game if we had a rally. So there's that as well, if we would have been able to get the Poppy flip. Interesting. But nonetheless, we're making our way right into the final battle. Not going to have a losing record, and so go us. Go team, go squad. Ooh, some Thresh Nasus. Nasus sporting the fearsome now. Okay, alright, well, man, I'm not sure how this Vanguard works with the tracker now. Right, after we just had that game where we summoned the Vanguard and it didn't count for the tracker, or the one card didn't count there.
I must reach the king.
questioning now.
I mustn't stop.
But we did just like curve and pick up into a big curve draw with Poppy, so this should be fine. I was gonna say I don't usually want to just drop the Bright Steel here, but Durandi Sculptor fits in nicely. It's like I want to bank this 1 mana for the Tattered Banner to put on Poppy, so she gets to pick and choose what she attacks into.
You don't understand.
Okay. We can go ahead and trade for that unit. Being a 3/1, even with the boosted units, it's still just going to kill whatever we block with.
I've got your back. Needs a finishing touch.
Squad. Poor Ardent Tracker. We've played 3 units and he hasn't gotten a boost yet. It's just not getting them. It's not happening. Spear Leech, sure. Does this deck play Black Spear? And if it does, do we even care? Like, how do we feel about just giving up on Poppy and playing a 5/5 Elite and then a 6/6 Elite? I think that's kind of okay. He can't dog us next turn, right? Well, this will be a 5/5 and a 5/5 Elite. I think these are okay.
Now that's a bit better.
So that's weird. The Vanguard coming into play. Oh, he does have. Interesting. Did you see that? Now that I highlight the card, he does have the +0/+1, but it looks like the grow my stats to this thing happens after the +1 happens. Okay. I got you, game. Didn't think he was going to have a big enough unit, but turns out Thresh is big enough. This is okay. Okay-ish. And a Bannerman.
Now that's a bit better.
Does he ever boom us if he passes? I mean, I think it's okay if he passes. We get to bank a bit of mana. We don't have any tools to use with it, but
Find a gift for an action. Right, Arda?
does adding the Bannerman now do anything? I don't think so. Let's just wait. He's gonna get this Thresh flip. Oh. Okay. Well, alright then.
Find that hero.
Be unfortunate if he has a Black Spear, but not the end of the world.
For the glory of Demacia.
Alright, well here's the big squad. Ready to do big squad things. And he has Nasus. Okay. So I'll just let Nasus get in front of whatever he wants to get in front of. Let's take down... Well, we need to do it this way, right? We need our medium units in the middle. We can send you down here to the right. So the Nasus doesn't get the bonus in the middle of combat. I don't think he's going to be super relevant, but that's the way to go about it. We should have hooked this 3-2, right? Yeah. It's okay, but we didn't pick the right one. Oh shit, this Nasus is going to get his flip now, isn't he? Or is he one short? Okay, one short. Thresh Nasus wasn't, its popularity was when we were busy playing Expedition, and so I'm not entirely fresh on his dealings.
I ran as fast as I could.
Okay, maybe we'll pick up a Cataclysm for the cool way to go. Nope. So do we want to risk the Atrocity? I think we can win without this Vanguard. So we'll let him go ahead and get the takedown on our big unit. This is a incredibly relevant position for him to have Fearsome again, right? If we could just block with the 2/2, that would feel Much better. But these are the kind of percentages, right? If it's relevant in a very small number of games, then it can be enough to take it down. Vengeance, okay. Okay.
Today I uphold my oath.
All right, what else you got for us here, game? Durandi Sculptor, not quite what we're looking for. So let's see what we can do. We have technical lethal scout attack here, and so maybe he has to do something weird to defend this. Like play a unit. He goes for vengeance though, interesting. We've got a lethal on board here. Oh no, we lost our scout. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Where's my hammer?
Let's give it a shot. Did we do it? Did we get there? Aw, what a lame-o. Fuck. Okay. We're getting right into that 20 damage boom range. Oh, turn too short. Ah, Golden Aegis. Come on. Come on. Alright, GG. But see, man, that's wild, right? Like, I talked about it before in terms of just seeing a random Reddit post or something about the small percentage changes in win rate and the frequency that they need to happen. And so just, if something gives you a victory and just like, over the course of 100 games, if that's going to win you like 4 or 5 games, you may not really feel it. That's a lot of games to be playing. That's like 400, 500, 600 minutes of games. And so you may not see and be like very memorable across a bunch of them, but a shift of 2 or 3 percentage points in your win rate is what takes you from being a winning deck to a losing deck, right? Like Riot starts to nerf and edit and manage things when you get to 55% win rate. And so if you're, cruising at 52 and you get a small boost that boosts you up to 55, then you're kind of in the concern territory. And so doing these small things like adding Fearsome to Nasus, giving Leona Overwhelm, they have a much bigger impact than people give it credit for, because a lot of games that Fearsome just doesn't matter. But seeing a game like this one, the game that we just played there, it matters a lot. And so we could have perhaps gotten an open kill that game if we were able to block his Nasus with our 2/2 instead of losing our 6/6. And so that's a very good point to take in whenever Riot makes these changes, and they change like 30 cards, but it's small changes to everything. That does definitely have like big effects across the board. Glad to see things like that come up and turn up, because I don't feel like people give the changes that they make enough credit, and I often worry that they've gone too far. And so pretty cool stuff. But anyways, so to kind of circle back to this deck here and the things that we have going on with it, Ardent Tracker needs to go. This card was not good and promising, and it was all around just awkward. If you're playing the style of deck to where you're playing Jarvan and playing Garen and a big elite package and playing Battlesmith and maybe even reinforcements, then sure. The Ardent Tracker probably has a home in that style of deck. If you're trying to generate your width using like Ardent Tracker and Vanguard Squire, those are both the cost reductions when an elite gets summoned. Sure, maybe that's the place for it. This deck we were playing here today, that was not it. And so the Ardent Tracker could certainly go. Then if you're going to cut the Ardent Tracker, you could probably cut the Cataclysm. I don't think that was particularly good either. And I also didn't like the Bright Steel Protector. And so I think the kind of question with this style of deck comes down to is, as we play these decks like Scouts, and we play these decks that we do a lot of in the previous patch with like Poppy Galio, as to where you have this early game package of Demacian Challengers. You have the big core here, right? Fleet Feather Tracker, Bright Steel Protector, Durandi Sculptor pets, just like Broadwing. Some decks will add in the likes of Laurent Protege. But whatever. If you're playing that core and trying to take maximum advantage of it, does Garen have a home with that idea, right? And so as we're out here playing Poppy Galio, I think Garen very realistically is better than Galio. He's just cheaper. His effect is more immediate. I think that he could definitely have a home. As like we're playing Poppy Galio, it's like you're playing 2 copies of Galio, 1 copy of Lulu, and then not that much else in the areas of top end. And so I could see him certainly fitting in with a deck like that. But here it was kind of tough. We're trying to compete with getting Cythria going and this stupid Ardent Tracker going and getting a Bannerman on board and stuff. It was kind of odd, but we definitely felt a lot of power coming out of these Garens, right? We certainly misplayed him in a few games. In that same vein that we were talking about Nasus and our loss in the previous game, we totally blanked that Ziggs guy with Garen, right? When he wanted to hook our Petricite Broadwing and we made it a 4/4. That was, very good defensively, and of course very good offensively, and very good as you're pairing up this core of Demacian challengers. And so I could most definitely see Garen becoming more important and more relevant in the meta, we should say. I just don't think the shell that we've assembled here was the worthwhile way to go about it. I don't think the elites we are playing really added enough to the deck. Now, the other thing in here, Might of the Vanguard, I do like. There are places to where this was strong. You got a pretty good vision of it in that Nasus game. And like, again, thinking in that Nasus game, if he didn't have Thresh there, he's in a real pickle, right? When he's out here having to just either get domed for 10 or succumb to the value blocks. And so the Might of the Vanguard probably has a place somewhere. I don't think that home is in a pure elites deck. I think if you're playing the pure elites deck, it probably still needs a bit more help in the future. But in terms of this being a good card, you can look towards other places, right? I mean, if you're looking at a Lux deck or a Heimerdinger deck or any of the decks looking to actually come out and actively spend all of their spell mana, you can find a place for this to live. And so it's worth noting. I thought that was kind of an interesting one here. But in the future, and probably when we get into the gauntlets, I think probably in our gauntlet this week, we'll probably circle back to playing decks like this, and you're going to see the Stony Suppressors come back, and you're going to see us play Poppy Garen and play Scouts. And so I'm like more and more interested in kind of developing that shell. And getting away from these bad cards. Like Honored Lord was never good. It needs like something else to give it challenger, but I don't want to play any of the challenger giving cards. And then the Ardent Trackers were pretty bad. And so it's like if we're moving away from the Might of the Vanguard, the what's your name, Honored Lord and Ardent Tracker, then that gets us in a space to where we can go in and flesh out our spells. So we're back to playing 3 sharp sights. We could probably add in another Relentless Pursuit. We could look to add in Vanguard Bannerman to generate the 4 Demacias and have that real big package of powerful things. And so the other kind of like perk to bringing forth that package, if you're still playing Poppy, is Poppy kind of naturally boosts all of your units. We ran into a lot of awkward games there to where we had these boards of like Honored Lord and Bannerman and Ardent Trackers, and we couldn't actually boost our units with Poppy, and it was all around kind of awkward. And so as you're moving in some of those smaller units like the Laurent Protege, it gives you more natural opportunities for Poppy to boost up your whole team. And so, yeah, a good little exercise here. Again, do I think elites are going to be great? Probably not. Are they something fun to take into the normals or to grind out your daily quests with and everything? By all means, it's got a lot of power to it here, a lot of sweet stat building and stuff. I just don't think that this current iteration is going to be a spectacular ladder climber. But very impressed with Garen, pretty impressed with Might of the Vanguard. Lots of interesting things coming out of these new cards. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. We made your decks a little bit more elite. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.